All righty, everybody. Guess what? We are talking Man of Steel today. Did you like it or did you hate it? We've heard both stories and we are going to chit chat about it with a special guest today here on Two Geeks and a Microphone. All right. Well, we'll do this.
Hello there.
Hello there.
So who talks first? You talk first.
Who talks first? You talk first. We'll do that. Hey, Jeofrey's in the house. I'm going to bring him in real quick. Ta-da. Hey, man, what's going on?
Good morning, Jeofrey.
Oh, we can't hear you. Hang on a second. So, everybody, welcome to the show. We're going to see if we can get Jeofrey's mic working because we can't hear him just yet. He's going to play around with that. Hey, everybody, Jeofrey's here with us. We're going to talk about him and his work here in just a few minutes. He was so gracious to come and hang out with us here on the show because we are talking Man of Steel. He has been on the show before, and for those that don't know him, we will get to more details on him, his work. We had him here before when he had some Kickstarters. You can find him on Kickstarter. But you have to spell his name right because I goofed on that at one point. But it's Geofrey Cotton, and so you can find him on Kickstarter there with projects that he has done. I looked this morning, and I don't think he has any open ones, but he's got some stuff coming up. And so he's a friend of the show. We're so glad to have him. He's been trying to update his computer a little bit so we can get on with us. Mike, as you can tell, is not using a green screen behind him. Those are actual real trees.
I kind of have a green screen.
Right. They're
I mean, it's green.
Right? Yes, it is real real trees and stuff. By the way, Mike, Nerdery Murder's in the house, and they said, nice hat.
Thank you. I like my hat. This is my camping hat.
Oh gosh. So Mike, without disclosing your location, what are you doing this weekend and why?
Well, our family is on vacation and we are out camping. So here I'll kind of pan around and see if you can see. Here's the camper. There's our truck. There's Brenda. If you got all that. Oh, Megan's like behind me in the hammock somewhere.
Oh, nice. The hammock that I was making fun of you yesterday for on Facebook. Because you were like,
there's Luna. Yeah.
Megan bought the hammock, but it was Mike that was inside of it. I'm like, well, how does that work?
Well, the first time I got in, I fell right out.
Yeah.
That wasn't too good.
We'll see if Jeff.
But she spent most of the time in it.
Yeah. So everybody,
looks like Jeofrey's having troubles.
It sounds like it, yeah. So hey, we are everybody. We are talking Man of Steel today, and so if you're watching the show, I'd love to get your feedback on it because Man of Steel. There's some of us who love it, some of us who think it's okay, some people who actually loathe it, and so what we're going to do is we're going to chit chat. We're going to chit chat and talk about it, and just discuss Man of Steel and who likes it, who doesn't, and everybody's opinion on that. Mike's going to stay on as long as he can, depending on his phone battery and his reception.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a delay on my end.
Yeah. Probably so, but it's okay. We'll just hang out. We'll have a good time like we always do. We make it up as we go along, everybody. And if you are new to the show, welcome. Thanks so much for joining us here on Two Geeks and a Microphone, where we just nerd out, talk about movies, comics, anything else that we are geeking out about, nerding out about. What's really interesting is Mike and I, if you're new to the show, Mike and I have been high school friends since, I want to say junior year of high school. So we won't say what year that was. No, I'll say it. It was 1987. And so we've been friends since then. So even though we live in different parts of the United States, Mike is Midwest. I am almost Pacific Northwest, not quite, almost. We got together. We would always catch up. How are things going? What have you watched lately? What movies have you watched? What shows have you watched? What comic books have you read? And we talk about that. But then all of a sudden, Mike had the idea. So, well, why don't we just do a podcast? We're already doing it. We're hanging out and talking. We can have other people and meet other people all around and just have great discussions on that. There it goes. Nerdery Murder. 1980 something.
I'm guessing it's probably Zig.
Yeah, it probably is.
Look in the cabinet first.
Okay, so I just got a note saying that Jeofrey's having a tough time with his computer and stuff, and we may.
Message.
Yeah. And so he goes, not sure what's wrong, but I don't think it's anything I can troubleshoot for a quick fix. I'm really sorry. I'm doing a new computer conversion and something is off. Won't load from my phone either. I think we might have to do another time. That is totally okay, Jeofrey. We really appreciate you and the opportunity to hang out with you. You're more than welcome to hang out with us at another time. It's totally okay. We're copacetic here, so we understand those things. So no problemo on that. So hopefully we can get Jeofrey back. Jeofrey, so let me talk about Jeofrey Cotton to everybody real quick, because I was going to introduce him, and I don't think it's only fair to just to talk about it. He is, Mike, how would you say it? Would you say comic book horror?
Yeah, I would say horror.
Yeah. So he's got all kinds of comics that he's a couple of different series. I think there's 4 different series that he has going, and he'll put them on Kickstarter. As you know, we have Creators Corner, everybody, that we do kind of a new segment that we do during the week. Sometimes if we're able to meet up, if they can't meet with us on Saturday, and just different people we're meeting all over the world, to be open with you. And so that's why we just love chit-chatting and talking with everybody. I'm going to respond back to Jeofrey real quick, but so it's been great to meet him. Reconnecting soon. And then, all right. So Mike, usually before the show, we usually talk about, but we didn't get to it today. So we're just doing it. We're doing live.
Well, I was taking Luna for a walk before the show, so.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, I will say this, so everybody.
The third walk this morning, by the way.
Oh, the third one? Wow.
Yeah, the first one started at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah, that would not work for me. And I get up early, but not that early. And so.
The second was 5 a.m.
Gotcha. Yeah. Something like that. Oof. 5, 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, he's busy, everybody, with the dog camping. So, well, we didn't get a chance to talk if we have any, how shall I say, geeky news and or geekdar. Mike, did you have any geeky news for this week? He's probably like, no, Stephen, I'm on a vacation.
What? Cletus. Oh, yeah, actually, Rick Hurst, right? Rick Hurst, most well known for playing Cletus Hogg on the Dukes of Hazzard, passed away on Thursday, I believe it was. So we've lost another Dukes of Hazzard character, unfortunately.
It was Boss Hogg, the guy who played Boss Hogg?
No, cousin.
Oh, cousin.
No. Boss died years ago. Cletus, his cousin.
I don't know.
He took over Enos's spot.
I'm trying to remember. Man, it's been a long time since I've watched. I just remember Daisy Duke.
So when Enos left, Cletus took over. And that's him.
Oh, okay.
You see it?
All right. I'm just responding back to Jeofrey real quick. So, hey, everybody. So, here's the dealioso. So, if he passed away, trying to think of what else happened. I thought there was an announcement or something. I was like, oh, I got to remember, but I didn't remember it. It's been a full week for me. So, we're going to go real quick. I want to do Geekdar.
With the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
It's not all.
Geekdar. So we're going to go into Geekdar real quick. Everybody, I wanted to share real quick that last weekend, we started watching Kelly. We were looking at for new shows, and we found one. We were like, oh, here's one on Netflix that's been out a little bit, but we haven't seen it. And I like Timothy Oliphant, and Drew Barrymore's in it. And it was the Santa Clarita Diet. And what's great is each episode's only like 20, 25 minutes kind of a thing. So it is like, we have already watched season 1, and it's like 8 episodes. We've already watched season 1, and then we've already started season 2. And it is actually a really funny and horror story style show. It is where Drew Barrymore's character becomes a zombie, but you don't know how. You don't know how she becomes a zombie in the first one. They start doing some interesting lore they're building, but at the same time they're trying to keep their family together, but she has to eat people. And so that's kind of the premise behind the show. Nerdery Murdery says, great show. Hey, Ziggy, have you seen all, I guess there's 3 seasons now. Oh, hey, nobody for anybody's in the house. He says, hate that show, not for me. That's okay. That's all right. Oh, he also said, Mike, are you fishing or camping or yard work?
Camping. I don't fish.
And who of us really wants to do yard work?
No, I did that before I came camping.
Oh gosh!
You do all the cooking now.
So
yeah, I have been cooking all the meals while we're camping.
Nice, Mr. We'll call Michael the chef, the camping chef.
There you go.
Got his Blackstone.
I got my Blackstone that I've been cooking on.
Nice. And all. So Nerd Murder said yes. There's 3 seasons. So they answer the question. There's 3 seasons on Santa Clarita Diet. Now, if you guys hear me getting a little bit louder, we've got fighter jets flying over in our area here in Bozeman for whatever reason off of the airport, and it gets really super loud. I want to run outside and see why they're out here. But anyway,
maybe 4th
can you guys
of July?
hear that? It's not, the mic's not picking it up.
I can't hear it.
Oh, good. And so it's so sorry if I'm like yelling in the thing. Maybe I shouldn't be. It's probably I'm like yelling in the microphone. I'm sorry, everybody, just because it's so loud and stuff. So, all right, Mike, do you have anything on your Geekdar right now that you're doing?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm out here at the campsite, so I don't have any comic books with me. Comic books tend to get ruined on camping trips. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to think. The only thing we really watched this week, we watched half of Man of Steel, because I wanted to try and refresh myself before the podcast. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I don't think we've really been watching. I mean, we've been watching a lot of Duck Dynasty, but that's what we've been watching lately.
And the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders thing.
Oh, and the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders show, the making of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. We've been watching that too. Looking forward to football season coming up here in a couple months. So, other than that, I don't really have any Geekdar.
All right, very cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and hit the main event, shall we? It's time for the main event. All right, we are talking
yeah.
Man of Steel. So everybody, we're doing a really cool segment where we're doing Road to Superman. So we're doing different things. Last week, if you caught our show, we talked about All-Star Superman comic book series. We had words.
Yeah, we did.
Oh gosh, we differed on different things that we liked about the series, and then also what we disliked about the series. So it was a great conversation. You had a chance to watch that. Please do. And so then now we're talking about Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder film, and we're gonna discuss that, and then we're gonna watch the new Superman that is by James Gunn, head of the new DC Studios, and or DC, and so we're going to talk all about that. So I'm already hearing different things about the movie, but I'm trying not to watch any. Everybody's already doing like early reviews, or they're talking about their friends who have seen it or something like that, and so who have been able to get early tickets or early access or press access or something like that. So there's all kinds of rumors happening about the new movie. People are saying, oh, it's already being re-edited real quick. And I'm thinking, there's no way that you can re-edit something and then get it to all the distribution out to all the different theaters in this short amount of time, kind of a thing.
Real quick, see nobody for anybody's comment?
Yeah, he says, I like Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. You know what? I'm just going to say it now. I'm just going to blow it open. I love Man of Steel, and I really enjoyed Batman versus Superman because I like Ben Affleck as a rugged, hardened, time-tested Batman kind of a thing and all. So yeah. Oh, real quick, three geeky dads. Good morning, campers.
Good morning, three geeky dads. As far as Man of Steel goes, I enjoy Man of Steel. I think it's a good movie, and which we'll get into that. Batman v Superman, yeah, that movie was a mess.
It was great eye candy, though. That's Zack Snyder for you. You know, it was great visual effects and stuff. Story, you know, but it was a great popcorn munching film. But we're not here to talk about Batman v Superman. We're here to talk about Man of Steel. And so with that, Mike, would you like to start us off on your first initial thoughts or your discussion points on Man of Steel?
Sure. Okay, so we rewatched it. We rewatched it the night before we traveled. So or rewatched half of it because I had intended to watch the second half the next morning. Yeah, that just didn't happen. Too many things were going on while getting ready for camping. So, but I got all the way up to the point of where they start the big battle in the third act of the film.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the look of Krypton in this. I like the look of all of the Kryptonians. I think they have a much more better look. Cheers.
Ooh, cheers, everybody. There you go.
Than past Kryptonians have looked. So I enjoy that. I love Henry Cavill as Man of Steel. I think Henry Cavill, Christopher Reeve's number one, of course. And then Henry Cavill and Smallville. Tom Welling. Those are my three favorite Supermans. I think they're the best. So yes, I enjoy Dean Cain. Brenda just said, "What about Dean Cain?" I enjoy Dean Cain, but I probably put him number 4. But this movie, I think, gets undue hate, and I don't quite understand it. I think there's a lot of great things about this movie. There are a few things that are off. Jonathan Kent does some strange things in it. And I love the way they portray Clark learning his powers as a child, and it comes off like almost like he has autism, and or at least they believe that he has autism in a way. I mean, they don't say that in the film, but they make it appear that way. And I thought that was a great explanation to him learning his powers and how they're interpreting it. I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Yeah.
I love General Zod. General Zod is freaking amazing.
Yes.
I actually think he's the best thing in the film, honestly.
That was Michael Shannon, right? Was that
And
his name?
yeah, I believe so. And he did not really want to do this role because he's
Really?
not a superhero guy. Yeah, he didn't want to do it. And then when he read Zack Snyder's script, he thought, this actually sounds really interesting. I'm in. I'll do it. And I think he is an incredible Zod. I
Oh, he
love
knocked it out of
his
the park.
performance. You ain't kidding. He's the best thing in this film. Lois Lane, I thought she
I
did a
don't know.
really good job.
I don't think he's the best thing in the film, but
I really like his portrayal.
he does great.
I
Don't get
would,
me wrong. I don't want to diminish his acting nor how he played the character or even the character development in it. It was fantastic. So yes.
I kind of wish they'd do something prequel-ish with him. You know, just get some General Zod and maybe some Jor-El. Because, who played Jor-El in this? I can't think who played Jor-El.
That was Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. He was an incredible Jor-El. I loved him. He was
great.
fantastic.
Yes.
So Clark Kent's father figures in this, both of them are great. You know, because I mean, we got Kevin Costner playing Jonathan Kent.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yes. Right? That was a great. He did a great job too.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He did a great job. It's just the whole, you know, Clark, I don't want you to reveal yourself to anyone. I think he took it a little too far with the kids on the bus. That was my only real issue with his portrayal. And that's not him. That's the writing there. That's Zack Snyder there. He can't help that. But I do also have to say my all-time favorite Jonathan Kent is John Schneider from Smallville.
Oh, okay.
I think John Schneider made an excellent Jonathan Kent, and it just felt like Bo Duke became Uncle Jesse at that point.
That was good, man. We got several Dukes of Hazzards conversations going on today.
Yeah, we do, don't we? Well, I love the Dukes, and I love Smallville, and I know we're not talking about Smallville and Dukes, but you know what? It all ties to Superman, so it's good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
So,
Whoa!
real quick, let me
comment.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up on some comments here real quick. So, Three Geeky Dads was curious if this is my urine sample. No, it is tea.
Oh, gross!
It's tea. And it's
nice.
it's sun-made tea that my wife made, and then I add some stevia to it so I can get my sweetener in it. So
I was drinking Milo sweet tea all day yesterday.
Were you? Nice. Yeah. Nice. Northern and Murdy said people like to hate on stuff. That is so true. Nobody for Anybody said that Zod was great. Three Geeky Dads affirmed that yes, that was Michael Shannon. Three Geeky Dads says we were just looking forward to a Superman movie where the villain isn't Zod or Luther doing a land grab thing again. That's
Good
so
point.
true.
Good point.
That is true, because that's what it was in the Christopher Reeve Superman. It was the one in the what was it? Superman Returns. That was with Brandon.
Yes.
Who was that? Brandon Routh in that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh and Kevin Spacey played Lex Luthor in that one.
Yes. Yeah. That's all the other movies lean on. Superman has a great rogues gallery that they need to mine for future movies. So true. So true. They really do. And I concur. I will say this.
Brainiac.
Yeah. Hey, did you watch the show? Wasn't there a Superman show where Brainiac was the main villain?
Yeah, that was Krypton.
That was Krypton. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't watched that show. Is it worth seeing?
Oh, I liked Krypton. I thought it was great. I wish they wouldn't have canceled it.
Okay.
There's no Superman in it, obviously, because it's kind of it's pre-Superman because Krypton's still intact. But Brainiac was kind of the main character of that show. It was really good.
Very cool. Henry Cavill is my favorite Superman. Yet I will say I liked Christopher Reeve very well. He was fabulous. And Tom Welling's Superman was really good because I enjoy Smallville. I watched those first few seasons, all of them. Later on, I just got into other things. But I think for me, and I was going to ask you this, Mike, with those being your favorite Superman, is it because, for me, I'm asking, for me, I really liked them because they had still a sense of innocence or the sense of someone from I want to say holistic character point of view. In other words, they're the embodiment of someone who is gentle, but yet super strong, someone who is trying to do the right thing and not arrogant.
I think that's a great comment. For the most part, Christopher Reeve, I think, embodied the look and feel of the comic book Superman. He really felt like Superman coming off the pages of the comic book.
Yes.
Tom Welling was kind of a fresh look at Clark Kent because we didn't really get him per se as Superman until the end of the series. But you got this really cool look at a young Superman or young Clark Kent learning his ability, making friends, and just something different that we really hadn't seen. That's what I think the strong point of Smallville.
Yeah, the strong point of Smallville. We lost him, everybody. Okay, he's back now. So the strength of Smallville was the last thing you said.
Okay, so I think the strength of Smallville was the fact that we got the young Clark Kent learning who he is and making friends, and just a different outtake on Clark Kent Superman than we had ever had at that point. With Henry Cavill, I think he epitomizes the strength of Superman. He just embodies that super powerful being, and I really love that. So if you combined all three of them together, I think you got a perfect Superman.
Nice. Okay. I agree with you when you talked about Zod. Zod is just an incredible villain. For that, with the two others. I thought they spent more time on Zod, where Superman 2 with Christopher Reeve really talked about the three characters. The three, I can't remember all their names. All of a sudden,
this is why they spent all their time on Zod in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
You can't remember the names of the other ones.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
That's exactly why all the time is spent on Zod.
Yeah. And soon later on, everybody, we're going to talk about the end because I know it created a lot of controversy. And I want us to make sure we don't miss that, but with Zod. But I think the biggest thing about the movie of why I love it so much, it is my favorite Superman movie, to be open with everybody, is it portrayed a character who was, I don't know, necessarily trying to find his way, but one who came from a good, just that upbringing that he got from his dad, from Kent, and then from Jonathan Kent.
Both his mom and his dad.
Yeah. Yes. Very good. Yes. From Martha Kent and Jonathan Kent, and how that impacted him and how he looked. But once he got into the world and was having to
Wait a
face,
minute. Did you say Martha? Why did you say that name?
That's a good one.
Speaking of Batman v Superman.
Yes, that is correct. Speaking of which, so with that, I would say, because of that upbringing, what made Man of Steel so good was you saw in the beginning with the oil rig, and then working at the restaurant, the oil rig, those times where he was having to face the world, and what he was having to do, and then how that plays into how he interacted with others. Once the government, they wanted to interview him and all that kind of stuff. Nobody for Anybody says Christopher Reeve to me is real life Superman. He never gave up in life. So true. Agreed.
Yeah.
That's well stated. Nobody for Anybody. Thank you. You're absolutely right.
I
Let's see.
still have not seen. They just came out with that documentary last summer on Christopher Reeve, and I still haven't seen it. But I've heard that is a really good documentary on the life of Christopher Reeve.
Yeah. Real quick, I missed a couple of other comments. Nobody for Anybody, going back to what we're talking about, Krypton. He says it's okay. 2 seasons of Krypton. He agreed. 3 Geeky Dads said yes. Brainiac would be
Brainiac.
good. 3 Geeky Dads also said Tom Welling. You mean the red and blue blur? They never called him Superman.
Yes, the red and blue blur. Yep.
That is interesting. I guess I didn't realize they never called him Superman.
They may have in the last episode, but other than that, no, they never called him Superman. That's why I said it's pretty much Clark Kent. It's more Clark Kent than it is Superman.
Yeah. Man, we're talking all over the Superman, all the different kind of Superman stories, and comparing them to all the different ones. Gosh, this is really good. What was your favorite, Mike? What was your favorite part of Man of Steel?
Oh, okay. Even though I didn't really get to rewatch it before we left, I would say the battle. I love the battle scene when Zod and the rest of the villains start battling Superman. And I love that point where Zod walks out and he takes off his breather, and then all of a sudden he's having troubles breathing and all this stuff, and Superman looks at him and says, "Yeah, the atmosphere is different here on Earth. It took me a while to get used to it."
Yeah. Well, even then, I thought that was a great storytelling about how even like his eyes, and then being able to hear everything, and just General Zod, and just all of a sudden having to adjust. And I thought that was a nice touch, just with the storytelling.
You've seen
of it.
Zod in just like a moment go through all the things that young Clark Kent as a boy had went through growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty cool. I really thought that was neat. And that's something different that we had not seen in any other Superman before.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah, it was really good. I have 2 favorite parts. One was, I did enjoy the big battle scene. Don't get me wrong. I love that. That was great. I got a good chuckle out of the time where the guy was being a bully in the restaurant and stuff, and he told him to stop, and it was really mean to him. And then he comes walking out, and his truck is like up with all these telephone poles running through it and all that kind of stuff. It's like, how'd that happen?
that made me reminisce to Superman 2, when Superman 2 gives up his powers for Lois Lane, and then he goes into the diner, and the guy is bullying him in the diner and beats him up. So Superman, for the first time ever, had bled. And then later, after he gets his powers at the end of the movie, he decides to revisit that diner and give that guy a little bit of payback, which I love. So it just felt very reminiscent of that whole Superman 2 sequence.
Yes. And then my second favorite, I guess I should say, but is that time where at the oil rig, where you see him, and he's not in his, the beginning where the oil rig's coming down, and he's there holding it all up, and the flames are everywhere. It was just a great action sequence a bit. And then just the whole point, he was trying to save lives. And I've always enjoyed that sequence and that scene.
Something else that I enjoyed is the fact that Lois Lane figured out really quick that he is Superman. Well, I mean, nobody knows he's Superman at this point, but she already figures out that this guy has powers and stuff. And in all the stories over what 90 years of Superman or however long it's been,
Mm-hmm.
Lois Lane has been fairly clueless for the longest time about who Clark Kent is. I mean, working side by side with him every day and not being able to figure out that, hey, this guy disappears. You ever notice that when Superman appears, Clark Kent is never around? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Of
Yes,
course, you never see me and Batman in the same room together, so
Well,
not
you never
Batman.
know. I have
I
noticed that
guess.
Batman's had a big white beard lately.
If you're Batman, I'm pissed because Batman has a lot of money.
That was funny. I heard that. Nerder Murray says, of course she did, talking about Lois Lane. She's a really good reporter.
hmm Right. I agree. And this one, I think they really hit the nail on the head with with this one and making her actually seem like a really good reporter. And I'm not knocking any of the Loises before. I'm just saying I really like this portrayal of her. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's Nobody for Anybody says, "Don't Touch My Mother" is my favorite scene. Superman punching the crap out of Zod.
The love
Yeah. Yeah.
that's in this movie. I like that.
Yeah. You're cutting out there a little bit, Mike. So, but now let's talk about, is there anything that you didn't like about the movie or you thought, well, I'm not so sure about that with Man of Steel?
You there?
Yes. Yep. Did you hear me ask?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. You asked if there's anything I didn't like. I would say the only things I didn't really like was like I kind of touched on earlier, Jonathan Kent and his over eagerness of protecting Clark, and saying if the world finds out about you, everything will change. Which, I mean, Jonathan's right in his assumption of that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But, like, for instance, when Clark saves the kids on the bus, the school bus, when the school bus goes off in the water,
Uh-huh.
and I thought that was great, that conversation that he had with Jonathan, because he's like, well, what did you want me to do, Dad? Let them die? And Jonathan actually says, well, maybe. And I was like, that does not feel like Jonathan Kent to me, because
Yeah.
I don't ever condone Clark doing anything that would harm somebody else. Um, I agree that he wants Clark protected. I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't agree with going as far as they pushed the Jonathan Kent character. That's probably my only thing I don't like about this movie.
Yeah. I took it as a reflection of the internal struggle about who Superman was, or Clark Kent was, and struggling with, he has this ability, when is he able to reveal it, when is he not, and just what does that mean. I do like that he made the choice, though, even going above his father's potential objections at the time. It wasn't for sure, but it was just like, it was the whole thing, I have to save them, it's the right thing to do.
Yes, agreed. It's almost like a demented version of The Incredibles. how Dash wants to play sports, and they're like, no, you can't play sports because everyone will figure out that you got superpowers. And then they finally let him play sports. Run, run, run! Wait, don't, not too fast, not too fast. Slow down, slow down. No, not that slow. Don't lose. It was almost like a demented version of that.
Oh gosh, that's a good one. That's true. I didn't think about that. That was a good connection. Yeah, I would concur. I did like the fact when we didn't get the heart attack Jonathan Kent, which I really appreciated, because when he died because of the tornado, it was the thing. He knew he could go save him, grab him, and come back real quickly. But yet his dad was willing to sacrifice his life in order to make sure his son, it wasn't found out too soon
Stays
about him.
anonymous.
Yeah. And that was where I think the culmination of, now when he talked about saving the kids to keep it thing, that was that moment when Jonathan Kent said, when he put up his hand and said, don't come get me, was very much that his dad was making that same distinction of, do you save these kids or not? Do you save me or not? And I don't want you to, because I want to protect you.
That's true. I would say that was a good moment of sacrifice for Jonathan Kent. So I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I just thought was still instilling certain values on what you believe in and timing. That's how I took it. And it was Kevin Costner too. I mean, he acted it very well. It was very good. And all. So yeah. So
still, Kevin Costner. My favorite Kevin Costner role is Yellowstone, John Dutton. So
we were just going to tell everybody this. We were traveling to Ennis, Montana, and it's a beautiful drive from here. It's an hour away. And there's this one part where you're coming up the highway, you're coming up through a pass kind of a thing, and it kind of, everything opens up, and it's a historical marker because it's the Bozeman Trail, where Bozeman gets its name.
Nice.
And it was so funny because, I mean, it's just huge. And there's hardly anybody out there at all. I mean, there's the road and stuff, but just you can see for miles and miles. It's just a beautiful scene. And what's so funny, of course, I've been past there before, but what's the one thing that came to mind when we got that far? I'm thinking, oh, there's nobody out here. Train station.
Stephen went to the train station. That is so funny. I love it.
Yeah.
If
real
you
quick,
don't understand that reference, go watch Yellowstone.
Yeah. Real quick, nobody for anybody says Michael's Wi-Fi, Forest Wi-Fi sucks.
Well, I'm actually on 5G and I only got one bar. So
yes. And then nobody for he also said tornado scene could have been different. Sorry, I would have saved my dad. I would have too. I would have done it too.
I get it, but Zack Snyder told him no.
Right. Okay. And then Nerdy or Murder said Kevin Costner as the kid in Silverado. Yes. Silverado is one of my top 3 Westerns. I love Silverado. It's a super young Kevin Costner. You've got Scott Glenn, Danny Glover. What's the guy? He was also in the movie FX. Brian Dennehy. Brian Dennehy's in it. It is, let's see. Gosh, who am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Oh, yeah. I see his face. Kevin Kline is in it too as well. It is a great Western, and Kevin Costner he's super young, and it is just incredible. He's just a wild, fun-loving character and stuff and all that. So, also John Cleese. Thank you. Thanks. Yes, John Cleese is in it. Yeah, this part. He's leading this posse, and he gets his hat shot off, and he's like, we need to go get him. He goes, "Today, gentlemen, my jurisdiction ends here."
Let's see. My favorite Westerns would be Young Guns, Tombstone,
yep,
and Wyatt Earp.
Oh, Tombstone. Tombstone is I'll Be Your Huckleberry. Yes.
I'll Be Your Huckleberry.
Yeah, that's actually, Tombstone is my number 1. Silverado's number 2.
Tombstone.
Yeah. But so it was just interesting. We're talking about Kevin Costner. That's how we got there. Holy cow. How did we squirrel to that point?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Nobody for
Kevin
anybody.
Costner.
Yeah. Nobody for anybody says, watch Westerns with my dad all the time. I did too. And my dad would do life lessons through those. He would teach different things. Like we'd watch, there's a bunch of Westerns. My dad's favorite show was Paladin, Have Gun, Will Travel. And my dad even kept in his wallet, there was a business card for Paladin, Have Gun, Will Travel. He had that and he always kept that in his wallet because it was something that he had. I haven't been able to find it, but yeah. So yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sorry. Think about my dad. He passed away 15 years ago next month, so
Wow.
anyway, so yes, agreed. Westerns are great. Now back to from Kevin Costner being a great Jonathan Kit back to Superman, or excuse me, Man of Steel, kind of a thing. Oh, real quick, Nerdery Murdy says Rio Bravo. Yes,
Rio Bravo.
The wonderful John Wayne. Absolutely, yes. Okay, so Man of Steel. What did you think of Russell Crowe as Jor-El?
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
I would love some kind of prequel to this movie. If we could get Zod and Jor-El in a prequel,
Mm-hmm.
that would be freaking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And just doing a whole movie with,
Yep.
them on Krypton and, I don't know,
cool.
maybe even Jor-El and Zod going on some sort of adventure together. That'd be cool. Because Zod did have respect for the most part for Jor-El. Sorry, my dog sees another dog and she's going nuts. But yeah, they portrayed this like Zod really did actually have respect for Jor-El. They just didn't see eye to eye on how to confront the scientists and the politicians on Krypton. That was the biggest problem with the two of them.
Yeah. Okay. I finally remembered because of that. Thank you. I finally remembered what my geeky news was. It has been announced that Russell Crowe is going to join Henry Cavill in the new Highlander reboot.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I think,
wow. We haven't done that in a while.
We have not done that in a while. That is so funny. I don't know. The rumor is he's playing the mentor to Cloud, Connor Cloud of the McCloud. And so, yes, everybody, I enjoy Highlander. Once that comes out, we should do Road to Highlander.
I'm going to say something very shocking. I have never actually watched Highlander.
It's a good concept. The first movie is great. The second movie, as its original, is horrible. Then there is a director's cut, which at least tries to make it a little bit better. Then none of the movies really clicked. And then they did it during that time. They also did a TV series with Adrian Paul. And it was good. I liked it. I liked the lore that it created and stuff. And I watched the first couple of seasons. And then there was a whole season of where it was dopey Duncan MacLeod, who was all upset because of an event that happened. And so he wouldn't fight. He didn't do his sword play anymore. And I'm thinking, dude, that's the whole point of the show.
Well, what's the point of that?
Right? It killed the show for me. So I didn't finish it. So then, but they did do.
Wasn't Sean Connery the star?
In the first one, it was Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert. Christopher Lambert played Connor MacLeod, and Sean Connery played the mentor. What was his name? I can't think of his name. Here's. Oh, did you pop that up? I probably popped it out. What?
Yeah,
you seen Highlander, Michael?
Yes, I have not seen Highlander.
You should watch the first one.
I told you I was going to say something shocking, and that for sure.
Yeah, the first one's good. The first couple of seasons of the TV show are good, and just because it's lore creating, it's a great universe. It's a great story. It's a great world building of this whole lore of these people who are immortals, and they get the good ones and the bad ones fight each other, and because then when they chop off their head, then they get their powers, and then the whole phrase is, in the end, there can be only one. left over. So anyway, it's an interesting concept and stuff. So, but anyway, I thought that was cool because now you've got Henry Cavill, who is Superman, with Jor-El, Russell Crowe, playing his Krypton father. Now you're going to have Henry Cavill doing Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod, and then you'll have Russell Crowe as his mentor, which I think is going to be great.
Nice tie in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. So, okay, real quick, everybody, I've got to talk about this, Mike. I mentioned this earlier. I wanted to talk about this whole point near the end because it's at the end of the film. Do you think it was okay? Well, let me rephrase that. That's not right. The way the story went at the end is Superman kills General Zod. And that's the big thing.
Okay, yes, this is the most controversial part of the film.
What are your thoughts? Should it have happened? Should it have not have happened? What's your take on that whole point where he snaps his neck at the end?
I agree with it. I actually agree with this. Superman didn't see that he had a choice. If he would have let Zod live, Zod would have killed that family. And Superman was not going to sacrifice a family just to save Zod. Now, the other thing that's controversial is not just that he killed Zod. There are people that claim, well, he didn't even grieve over killing one of the last of his own kind. And I totally disagree with that. He did grieve because Lois even confronts him afterwards about it. So, and yes, I mean, you can't see a huge amount of grieving because you only got 5 minutes left of the movie. We're talking very end of the movie. And also, do you expect Superman to grieve for like years and years and years? I mean, that's not going to happen either. I'm sorry. Let's be a little realistic about this.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I've never had a problem with that. And I don't understand why people get so upset about it.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I'm very much what's the word I want to say? The way they played it, the way they did the whole how shall I say? He had no choice. Let me rephrase that. There's a choice of who is going to die, and the innocent should always live, kind of a thing. I thought that was a great concept that how it played it. And then when he snapped, the whole thing of snapping his neck, it was the whole thing. He had to do it. But you remember at that moment when he did it, there was the grief right there. You saw it where he was like that, just having to make that choice in order to do that. And also, which I thought was really good.
Here, we got a comment here.
Oh, yeah. Nobody for anybody. Agree. It had to be done.
Yep. I totally agree.
Yep. Oh, by the way, nobody for anybody also said, Michael, you've got homework. You've got to watch Highlander.
All right. Well, if we're gonna get a new Highlander movie, I think Steven's right. I think we'll have to do a Road to Highlander, and yes, I will definitely watch Highlander for that.
Hey, and the director for the new Highlander reboot with Russell Crowe and whatever his name is. I can't think of it on the side. Why can I think of it? That's age for you, everybody. Oh my gosh, what's happening to me? Anyway, that was Henry Cavill. Holy cow, why couldn't I not say that? So Henry Cavill, the director for this new one, is the same guy who directed all the John Wick films.
Oh wow, okay. I do like John Wick. John Wick's good.
Yep. Same director. Nobody for anybody. Zod was not going to stop killing. Yes,
agreed.
I concur. Yes,
I totally agree. Look, I'm going to give you a Phil Robertson example of why Superman had to kill Zod. So Phil Robertson from the Duck Dynasty series. He was once talking about people have come up to them and discussed their guns and stuff like that. And Phil's like, look, we can either talk Jesus or we can have a gunfight. We can do either one. Now, I'd rather talk Jesus with you, but if you want the other one, we can do it. It's not I want to, I really don't. I want to talk Jesus with you, but we can do that. So I kind of look at Superman the same thing. He's telling Zod, look, you can either kill these people or I can kill you. So
Mhm.
I don't want to kill you, but if you're going to kill these people, I'm going to kill you. So
Yeah.
there you have it.
Yeah. And I think I think it's important to note what makes a great villain is they're always like, you make the choice. No, you as the villain put them in that to make that choice.
That's right. That's right.
And how they always try to pawn it off. Well, how dare Superman do that? No, it was Zod who was making the choice either or. And he made the choice based on what he did of where he had to kill Zod because one, I agree, nobody for anybody. I agree with you that he would have continued to kill because what had he been doing since he got there, since he got on Earth and stuff like that. So it was wanted to be domination.
It's just like Superman 2. In Superman 2, the Kryptonian villains, they realized, and they even made a comment that how Superman's real weakness, it's not kryptonite, it's humans, because all we got to do is twist one of these humans and he's gonna be the one to bend. So
Mm-hmm.
that's his real weakness. And then of course Lois Lane technically is the biggest weakness because he's going to go way out of his way to save Lois. Now, is that wrong? No, it's not wrong, but it's the truth. And Zod is no different in this film than the Zod of the other film. They're no different whatsoever. They just took it a little different route in Superman 2. That's the only difference between them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, everybody, we are running up on our hour. Holy cow, that went by quick. Mike, I'm glad you were able to hang out with us out there in your forest Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it was fun hanging out here. So yeah, everybody got a little taste of what it's like to be with the Shanks family on vacation.
Right on. Yes. So, all right. Well, any other final thoughts, Mike?
No, other than if you dislike Man of Steel, I say give it another chance. I think it's a good film. Henry Cavill is incredible. Michael Shannon is incredible. Russell Crowe is incredible. This has got an amazing cast to it. It's just got a fantastic cast to it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand Zack Snyder made some mistakes later on with the DC universe.
Yeah.
Get it. But I really thought Man of Steel was a good beginning to that new DCU era. And I'm just disappointed we couldn't build more from that movie and get a better DCU. So hopefully the new Superman is going to be really good and we get a kickoff to a new DCU, EU, whatever they're calling it now. I don't know what the heck they're calling it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what they're calling it.
And things will be better from here.
Yeah. I still wanted to get Man of Steel 2 because I was so hopeful when at the end of not Shazam, the other one, Black Adam. At the end of Black Adam, you got to see. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get it! We're gonna get it, Man of Steel 2." But c'est la vie. That's life. We did not.
I think the two biggest missteps of the Zack Snyder era, one, that Ben Affleck did not get a solo Batman film.
Agreed.
And don't try and tell me Batman v Superman is his solo film because it's not. That's the entire Justice League. So that's one mistake, and the other mistake is we didn't get Man of Steel 2. We should have gotten Man of Steel 2.
Yes. Yep. Agreed.
Oh, we didn't give it a rating.
Oh, it's 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 damaged semi trucks for me.
I like your choice. Okay. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
And I only say 8 because I'm not huge on the Jonathan Kent take on
Oh,
Clark. But other than that, I really like this film. I think it's a great film.
yeah. Oh, Nobody for Anybody said same here. He wanted Man of Steel 2, and then he also gives it a score of an 8.
Nice.
8 as well. So yeah, we should start doing that. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Have everybody comment what their score was.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah, I
start
love
doing
that idea.
That's a great idea. Nobody for Anybody. Thank you. Thanks for doing
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
We're going to start doing that. So that way people can share their thoughts on it as well. So, all right. Well, anybody, hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining us here today on our show. We just kind of, Mike being on vacation, it was very gracious of him to continue to kind of hang out with us. We're so sorry Jeofrey Cotton cannot hang out with us, the computer issues, but we'll have him on the show. We appreciate him being a friend of the show and stuff like that. Nerdery and Murdery gives it 8 out of 10 damaged semi trucks.
See, maybe this isn't as hated as we thought.
Right.
or maybe we just got likewise listeners.
Right. That's funny. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. If you would, please check out our website at www.2geeksmike.com. That's www.2geeksmike, GEEKSMIC.com. That's our hub for all things Two Geeks. You can get to everything else from there. Just that's our main hub. But if you want to go to our merch page, you can get to the link through 2geeksmike.com. But you can also go to 2geeksmikemerch.com. That will take you there as well. And then also, just want to say, if you want to help support us, we use the monies just to do the show. Ko-fi.com/2geeks, ko-fi.com/2geeks. And we got a $1 tier, a $2 tier, and a $3 tier. And so we just appreciate any kind of help you can give us, or you can just buy us a coffee at any amount, just to help us with the show. If you want to contact us, the best way to do that is show@2geeksmike.com, SHOW at the number 2 GEEKSMIC.com. Really appreciate, just reach out. Mike checks that email more so than I do, but he does a great job of getting back on those. Real quick, couple of last things. Nerdy or Murdery, they said Costner was a little weak writing, not acting. Agreed.
Totally agreed. It was the writing, not his acting.
Yep. And Nobody for Anybody said, have a good day, y'all. You as well. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Great to have you here with us and stuff. All right, Mike, it's all you, man.
All right. With that said, please make sure and go and like us on all the socials, so on and so forth. Go follow us on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Facebook. And on Facebook, make sure and follow us over there. Give us a like. I try to post funny memes, sometimes news items, and any information about live episodes like the one you're watching right now. Speaking of going live, we go live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math on the rest because I don't like math. I think that's all I got. Steven, anything else for you?
No, that'll do. Sounds great.
All right. So with that, signing off from the campgrounds, and we will see you next week. Until then, please do not skip this episode because we are much more better than the rest. And cheers.
Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.